And we return. So we have a crew. We are some kind of weird ghost smugglers. We have our characters. And I think we open
Our crew name is the Vor Squad.
No, it's not. That is 100% untrue.
We open on the sound of rain on window panes, the smell of lavender and like mothballs, and like a teacup being placed on a doily on a polished wooden table. As Rosalind explains to you, you see, the problem is that normally we would acquire certain items through traditional markets, which is perfectly acceptable and understood to be the norm. However, traditional markets rely on the work of certain groups that go and procure said items from outside of the ghost wall, outside of the lightning towers. My understanding is that those certain individuals that collect items from outside of the lightning barrier are refusing to deal with said traditional markets, and therefore making it very hard to come by said items, which makes our work very difficult. You'll understand. And yeah, this is Rosalind. She is wearing her hair in a sharp bun. Her clothes are a little old-timey, but like very well maintained. It's weird. It seems like she's bought clothes from a previous time period recently, somehow, or she's managed to put together an outfit that just comes across as being like from 50 years ago. She's wearing like very muted pinks, and then like like a severe charcoal ensemble. And yeah, the room has like fake flowers with a little bit of dust settled on them. And yeah, this is like a parlor just inside of the Dimmer sisters' house. You're not allowed to go further. You know that like the door to the hallway is like has a big lock on it, and you're not going any further other than just like this first room into the house, where she's entertaining guests. And yeah, who is it that she's like primarily addressing when she's like explaining this situation?
I would imagine it would be like Nightfall, right?
Yeah, I was going to say I vote Alana.
I mean,
happy to take that.
Yeah, I think Adi's just there, like really happily slurping on tea.
Yeah, and so she turns to Nightfall and is like, the concern that we have is that if we were to specifically, if we were to procure these items from those said individuals directly through our own form of trade, this would be very upsetting to the traditional markets. I think you're aware that I think you're easily aware that when she's saying traditional markets, it's a euphemism for the hive, which is like a network of merchants who like run everything. They as far as like they run trade in Duskwall, so that includes both like legitimate trade and illicit trade, and they're allowed to be this like big merchant conglomeration because they maintain an air of like legitimacy. And the certain individuals are probably what's their name again? There's a group of mercenaries and like ex-prisoners and things who have learned because people who are on death row in Iron Hook prison get sent out into the Deathlands to like collect stuff for the government. Some of them never die. And so they join this group of like mercenary individuals who like practice this thing and of like going out and collecting stuff.
The Deathland Scavengers.
Deathland Scavengers. There we go. Yeah. So the problem that Rosalind says that they're having is that there's something that they would normally get. She's described it as I think she's only used the word vessel so far when describing it. And she says we're aware that they've acquired one of these particular items, but that it has not entered the market. Which because if it had entered the market, we would know and have acquired it. And yeah, she's like she kind of like pauses and like looks towards Nightfall as if like obviously you understand the problem.
I certainly understand the problem. The issue is I don't understand the solution. What is it that you're actually asking us to do here?
Yeah, and she's like I'm led to understand that you might be capable of meeting with a contact of ours that might be amenable to the trading of such item discreetly, and bringing it to us.
Discreet is something that we're good at. Conversation is something else that we certainly excel at. But you are obviously holding your cards quite close to your chest for good reason, I'm sure. But we're going to need a little bit more information about who and what we're doing if you would like us to actually complete this task for you.
Yeah, and she says, "Oh, certainly, of course. I have this dossier." And she pulls out like a thing of papers and is like, "If you're happy to work with us," and she just puts it on the table and is like, "Here's all the information. I just need to know that you're not that you have no intention of passing this item back into traditional markets, as I understand that there is quite some demand for such a thing from them. Hence the holding of it hostage."
Traditional markets don't have tea quite as lovely as yours, so we'll definitely be back.
And she hands you over this this paper and it's like, "I'm very glad that we've been introduced to you. This is such a lovely opportunity for a blossoming relationship." Yeah. So yeah, the dossier talks about a let me find the people that we need. The Deadland Scavengers.
Tier 2 and weak.
Tier 2 and weak. And yeah, they have a I'm gonna say nearby to your hunting grounds. They have like one of their like scavenging points, which is like how they they for the same reason that your place is so spooky, because it's close to that tower, and like a way out. They have a stronghold there, which she's asking you to go and meet. In that space. Yep. And yeah, she's asking you to go there and meet with, what's his name? Someone who's just known as who's only known as Ogre. And yeah, she says that Ogre apparently, the notes say that Ogre is a very mercantile fellow, and is willing to make a trade of this. I think what's the word that she uses to describe it? I think it's referred to as the engaging vessel. Is the or I think she several times refers to it as the very engaging vessel. Yeah, and she and apparently Ogre doesn't think that holding out from the market is a valuable piece of time. Then the dossier doesn't say anything about why there is this holdout of trade between the Deathland Scavengers and the Hive. but it does mention the fact that like it has again that note of like don't go and sell it to the hive. That would be bad for us. Even if they offer you lots of money. But yeah, it has the location and everything. The only thing is getting it to the item to the Dimmer Sisters is going to be a little tricky, given that the hive have called for like additional law enforcement and spirit warden presence in the area around that particular thing, around that particular hideout.
Where did Dimmer Sisters live?
That's what I was trying to work out.
I don't think it's like Six Towers makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, yeah, Six Towers does make sense, but I think it's actually like
closer to the border.
Yeah, I reckon it's down here. Hey,
You ping? Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna add that to the map too.
Yeah. So it's just basically doing a run across Charter Hall, theoretically.
What could possibly go wrong?
So shall we jump into the mission?
Yeah, show us how it's done.
Yeah.
I'm keen. Let's get it.
I'd like to do a little gathering of information first.
Yeah. 100. Well, I mean that's part of jumping into the mission. So
Yep.
let's do that. How are you gathering information? What does that look like?
Here's the thing. Some people, their idea of gathering information might involve talking to like humans. Me, not so much. So I think I know some of the local ghosts in Six Towers who like ghosts talk.
Yep.
And the Deathland Scavengers. I feel like anyone who crosses the lightning barrier ends up being used as like a postal service. Right?
Uh-huh.
Like between the ghosts who live inside lightning barriers and the ghosts who live outside.
Uh-huh.
Whether that's like willingly or by possessing them and just like going on trips or by like leaving weird shit in their possessions. And so like I think the ghosts of Six Towers like know a thing or two about the Deathland Scavengers.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I'm going to go find one of my like local ghost contacts.
Yeah, cool. That sounds like you're consorting.
It does sound like I'm consorting, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Just gonna add a label to the map before I make this roll. So we know that this is the Dimmer Sisters. Because that's important. There we go. Is it shift? How do I stop it from aligning to
Alt.
square? Oh, it's alt. There we go.
Tell me your.
I just did it. Oh, I just did a thing. I went back by accident. I'm going back into roll 20 now.
All right.
Anyway,
Sure.
I think this ghost is a ghost who lives in our hunting grounds.
Uh-huh.
Like I think there's like an old burned out alchemist shop. And like I do and like when I say old I mean like old like
Yeah. Like old.
Like back when the like Charter Hall lightning barrier was still like the hot new thing old.
Mm-hmm. So
It's like
500
really, really
years.
old.
Yeah.
Like none of any alchemy supplies in there are worth shit anymore. But I think it's like all burned out and like fucked up. And I think like people have used it as a halfway house over the years, and like one of those people who died like relatively recently and the ghost is still like cogent, like still haunts it.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think that's my person I'm talking to.
Yep.
And so I believe. Give me a moment. I've never actually played this game before. Yep. So I am preparing to execute an operation of my preferred type on the hunting grounds. So you get +1 die to gather information rolls. Yep. So I'm going to talk to this person. I got 1 die in consort. And I get +1 die.
Yep.
And I don't think I'm going to push myself. And my question is like, the name of this guy was like Ogre?
Ogre is the member of the hunt, the scavengers, yeah?
Yeah, like my question is like, yeah, it's like what's up with Ogre, right? Like, I want to know more about him as a person.
Yeah.
If we're going to be dealing with him, I think that's like an important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So my position.
For this one, I think is controlled.
Yep. Cool. My effect.
Standard.
Yep. Then bonus dice, I have.
So for those who haven't played this sort of system before, position and effect are two things that have each have 3 ranks. So position can be desperate, risky, or controlled, and effect can be great, standard, or limited. And then like super great or nothing. But the intention, the way that those work is that they help us. They're a structured framework for us to say what are the potential outcomes of how dangerous is this for like doing the thing, right? So position is like, am I likely to die from this, or is it like I might get a little bit embarrassed, right? Like that's that conversation is like, what are the stakes on that side? And then effect is for what are the stakes if I succeed rather than fail. So like if I succeed, am I gonna only get a little bit because this is actually like a really hard thing to do, or if I succeed, am I gonna be amazing, right? So this one, it's controlled. There's not a lot of risk. Nothing too bad is gonna happen. But it is standard, so it's not, you're not going to get, it's not like there's anything limiting how much information you might get. There's also nothing helping, so it's a standard amount of information. Luke.
What are the 3 levels of effect?
That they are limited, standard, and great.
Right.
And then super great and nothing are also potential outcomes.
Ash, I'm going to ask because I'm myself, and I would feel
remiss
bad if I didn't. You got any devil's bargains for me?
Yeah. You want to know about Ogre?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to deliver a message to him that he might not like to hear.
That's a pretty strong devil's bargain.
Yeah, good.
Right, like the information comes with and this is the thing. It like you can choose not to do that thing, but then you will have fucked over
then
your
I'll
spirit
fuck
friend.
over the ghost. Yeah, the devil's bargain is like I have to. Yeah, like I agree to.
Yeah,
I agree to pass in a message for the ghost.
Mm. And like you, oh no, you're a whisper, so you would know what the like. Yeah, so if you agree to the devil's bargain, you get to know what it is because it's in like weird ghost language.
Fuck yeah, I love weird ghost language. I'm taking that.
Sure, cool, excellent.
Yeah. So for other players, this is a thing you can do to get extra dice, and anyone can offer them. It's not just Ash, and it's like a bad thing that comes true regardless of whether you succeed or not. That like makes things more complicated.
Yep. So you can.
So yeah, I'll totally pass on a message for this ghost.
Cool. Excellent. So
Oh wow.
Oh gosh. Yep.
God.
So
my luck is the worst.
I mean, yeah. You get the information that is connected to what's to the message you have to pass on, right?
Yeah.
Which is that like his wife is going to leave him if he doesn't bring her like fresh fruit and flowers out into the Deadlands for her soon, because he hasn't taken her anything recently. So that's what you know about Ogre.
You could bring him fresh fruit and flowers so that he could take them out there himself.
We shall see.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right,
So,
I'm happy with that information. I feel like I'm prepared now.
Cool. So Luke, do you want to take us through the engagement role thing?
Yes. So if I find,
Because you've got all of the handy bookmarks.
I do. They're not very well organized. Not teamwork, not payoff. We'll look it up in the back.
Let's choose our first thing we need to do is choose our mission type and our detail. We have to work out what the detail is. So our mission types available are assault, do violence to a target, detail the point of attack; deception, lure, trick, or manipulate, detail the method of deception; stealth, trespass unseen, detail the point of infiltration; occult, engage a supernatural power, detail the arcane method; social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade, detail the social connection; or transport, carry cargo or people through danger, detail the route and means.
Yeah, and so basically this game abstracts a lot of the like nitty-gritty bullshit that happens in Shadowrun.
Yeah, where you don't spend time planning. You just pick what it is, what the detail is, and then we cut to the action.
Yeah, because there is a mechanic to determine how bad things are when the job starts, and also you can spend stress to have flashbacks and be like, yes, because we're very clever, competent criminals, we prepared for this bad thing that is happening. Let me tell you how.
As I like to call it, the Danny Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So to plan an operation, we just choose what kind of plan it is, and we supply the detail.
Yep. So what plan are we doing?
It doesn't feel like a smuggling plan.
Well, I feel like it depends on whether we are thinking of this through a lens of like, is the real job convincing Ogre to give us the shit? Or is it getting through all the cops and the other bullshit that's now in the district back to the Bimmer Sisters afterwards? Because if it's about getting back afterwards, then it probably is a transport job. But if it's about getting the thing off Ogre, then like it could be anything.
The purpose of this particular thing is to decide what story are we telling, right?
Yeah, what
as
are we
a group. Because I've given you this thing, and you could all just be like, "Yep, it's an assault mission," right?
Yeah, we bust in there, we kill Ogre, we take his shit.
The interesting part that we want to explore is the part where we fuck up Ogre, right? You can choose that. You could decide that this is a deception mission where you're going to trick Ogre, and that's the fun bit, right? Like, this is about saying, what fun do we want to have now? You know?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like smuggling the stuff back is probably less interesting to me than manipulating Ogre in some way, whether that's physical or emotional. He seems to have a wife who he seems to care about, or some kind of way that we manipulate our relationship with Ogre to meet our ends.
I'm not saying this is what we have to do, but it could be an occult job, and the arcane method could be Ogre's wife.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this
We could
is
smuggle her through the lightning barrier and get her to convince him to give us the shit.
We'll just hold her, like, we'll give you your wife in this town if you give me your shit.
Exactly, right? Like, that
Yeah.
would be pretty dope.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty intense job.
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
Sounds cool.
depending on which approach you choose, will make it easier or harder to achieve the job end, right? The thing that you're getting paid for, as well, right? Like, if you choose transport, that's probably the easiest one, right?
The most straightforward. Get
But
it in there,
it's
get
maybe
out.
not the most. But like, that's not the point. The point is not to make the smart decisions; it's to make the fun decisions.
We need to make the savvy decisions as well. Oh, I love this. I love this bit about his wife. There's got to be something that we can do there.
Yeah, I like the idea if it's either a deception plan where we manipulate him using the fact that we know that he has this weird ghost wife, or it's an occult plan where we just bring the ghost wife to him somehow.
Wait, do we know she's the ghost wife? I thought.
I mean, if she lives out in the Deathlands, probably.
We can find her. Mhm.
Right.
I just love the idea of
coming in and being like, one of us currently has your ghost wife
in our
their
body.
mouth. And you don't know which of us has
Oh my god, that sounds like the one we're doing.
I like it.
Awesome.
Deception?
That sounds like a great plan. Oh, and I'm not.
Wait, is that deception or occult?
I mean, here's the question.
That
Do
sounds
we
like deception
really-
to me.
Do we really have his ghost wife? Because
Yeah,
there's a
that's
version of
the
this
important
plan
point.
where there is a ghost in my body, and it's a different ghost that I've compelled.
all of us have a ghost
And I
in our
vomit
body,
up
and only
a-
one of them is the wife. And you have
This is the weirdest game of Find the Lady I've ever heard of.
What's behind door number 3?
Okay, so it sounds like it's a deception plan. And the method of deception is, we've got your wife.
The
it's not
method of deception is having a fake ghost or another ghost. It sounds like
Supposedly having his wife's
Supposedly
ghost,
having
not
his wife,
actually
yeah.
having his wife's ghost.
Yep.
Can we just recap your bargain again? What was your devil's bargain? Your wife needs to be brought flowers.
Flowers.
She's
Or
upset
gonna-
because like he doesn't
You
visit
haven't
and bring
visited her.
bring her things,
And she's gonna leave him if he doesn't bring her things.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still pass on that message while also lying about. I can be like, yes, your wife, who is inside me right now, has a message for you. That's how I know this.
Yep.
Nice.
So are we happy with that plan, everyone?
I think that's brilliant.
happy as I'll be.
All right.
Okay. So before we do anything else,
Everyone
we choose our load, which is
Yes.
how much shit we're carrying.
It's
You
not
don't choose-
what shit. We just choose how much shit we're carrying. So then later when we go, I've got a minigun, you can be like, see, and I was carrying a lot of stuff. So that makes sense.
Yeah, so there are 3 options: light, normal, and heavy. Light means like no one can fucking tell that you are a scoundrel. Normal means you look kind of shady, and heavy means you look like you're fucking dressed for war, and everyone is going to be like, "Oh shit, it's a tough motherfucker."
I suggest probably normal purely because I don't know what's going on, and also I already have an eye patch, so looking kind of shady, kind of half a
Mhm.
I mean, so many people have eye patches here. Like, it's just like there's so much like soot and nonsense in the air. I feel like people just regularly like just wandering down. Like, fuck.
I'm gonna go with light because a lot of my cool whisper shit is like doesn't count,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think I'm gonna need a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go light too. I'm going to carry that whip that I use to kind of torture ghosts around my waist in that concealed fashion that we.
Mm-hmm.
that we-
Remember, Derek, you don't have to say yet. It's like Schrodinger's backpack.
Right.
We have 3 item worth of thing, and we don't know what the item is until Ash is like, a bad thing happens. You're like, I pull out my whip. Haha. Checkmate.
Well, I was kind of thinking that I would need to identify that because that was one of the things that I was hidden concealing on my body.
Yep. You don't. You just say I had
You
that
still-
concealed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same thing. You just get to like play gotcha with the GM. It's fun.
Yeah. Because the whole point of this is to get rid of the boring planning part.
All right. So I'm carrying light. I'm going lighter.
Cool.
I went normal as well.
Yep.
There are police presence though, so I think sort of.
Heavy would be unwise.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so once the players choose a plan and provide a detail, the GM cuts to the action. So let's do the engagement roll. Is this so? We start with 1 dice for sheer luck because we're lucky. Is
The
this
scoundrels.
is this
Yay.
operation particularly bold or daring?
It's a pretty daring lie.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say yes, so we get a bonus dice. Is
Right.
this operation very complicated and contingent on many factors? I don't. Yeah, it's just you're just gonna tell him that you got his wife.
It's a bold and simple lie.
Yeah.
And thence lies its brilliant genius.
Does this plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Oh yeah.
Yes, it does.
His weak point for his wife.
Is the target the strongest against this approach, or do they have a particular defenses or special preparations? No, I don't think so. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? I don't feel like the Dimmer sisters are going to help you in deceiving Ogre about his wife.
Yeah, everyone have a quick look at your character sheets and who you're friends with.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a thing. Because here's the thing, we can't be possessed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I reckon Kellen, a witch, could probably do us up some pretty convincing makeup to make us look possessed.
Uh-huh. I mean, yeah, I'll allow it. So 4. Are enemies any enemies or rivals interfering with this operation? Anyone got an enemy that might want to get? Because I feel like I know one, Luke.
Mm.
Yeah, I think they might.
I reckon Flint might give a fuck about this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take one off you for Flint. Are there any other elements to consider? So anything else that like, are they a lower tier than you? No, blah 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 blah.
We're acting on like a detail that few people have access to.
I think that's already taken by hitting them where they're weakest.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah. I think that's 3. Do you want to roll 3, Luke?
Let's do it. Judging by my luck so far, I'm about to roll a 2.
Don't do that. That'd be bad.
Fortune. Wait, where's the button for fortune rolls?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I found it. 3 dice. Notes. Engage. Wait, no, that's not how you spell it. It's not engagement.
Engagement.
Engage. Wait. Engagement.
Apothecary.
I nearly wrote engagementen.
There is a
Alright.
roll engagement button.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it's just to below where our cargo types is on our cruise sheet.
Oh, it's on the cruise ship. That makes sense.
Sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Roll engagement. Number of dice. 3. Boom.
Oh shit. Okay. Yep. Can you crit?
That's more like it.
Can you crit on engagement? And a critical carries the action beyond the initial obstacle, deeper into the action of the score. All right. So
Is this the one where we just roll on past?
It's the one where we actually have his wife.
I mean, yeah, that's the question, right? Like, so you've he's agreed to your terms, right? Ogre is there. He's got his like tonfa, like tied up hair with the like balding bit in the middle. And then yeah, he's that's the right word, isn't it? I'm not
Tonsha?
tonsha. That's the word.
Tonfa is a baton thing that the Japanese cops had in 1890s.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I just meant the hair. He's got that thing of like having his hair up, but like yeah, balding across the top. And yeah, has and you can see that like all of up his face and his head. He has all of these like riddling scars, like he's been struck by 1,000 tiny bolts of lightning over the course of his life. and yeah, he hasn't many teeth, and yeah, but he's like big and heavy set, and speaks with a kind of speaks with a the kind of Scov accent that like someone picks up in the underworld or in Iron Hook prison, and it's like here, this is the room. You take this, you take it. I don't want it. It's just making us trouble. And like yeah, he takes you into a room, and there's this like a shisha, yeah, like a water pipe, and I think looking at it, as soon as you like set eyes on it, you feel it like draw you towards it as if it's like calling on you to like, you know, partake, to smoke from it. This like and this instant like yeah, like it's not irresistible, but it's definitely there's that subtle compulsion to go and engage with this this jade shisha with beautiful engravings of like spiritual faces and like dragons and just lots of like weird faces that are like partially, some of them are like lizard-like or dragon-like, and some of them are like hairy and like tusked and things, and they're all of these semi-human, semi-animal faces, and yeah, this, and you just keep like, whenever you're looking at it, you can't help but make eye contact with the faces and feel like, oh, I should go and do this thing. And yeah, he's like, I don't like it. It's creepy. This one is creepy. I take a lot of things out of the Deadlands, but this one I don't like.
I reach out like one big weathered hand, and I just like pat it on the side like it's like a restless horse, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
In response to all of its like vibes, I'm like, no.
yeah. He's like, take it. Just let me talk to Margaret.
Where did you find this thing? He asks. I've just never seen anything like it.
He says, he says, I didn't find this one. I don't like to go into the barrows. It's bad place. You don't rob the dead of the dead. And yeah, he says, but some of the other guys, they like to go and get the big treasures with the extra danger. I don't like it. This one I think is cursed. Please, I don't care. It's just to make trouble for us.
I'm gonna grab a sort of a backpack sack kind of thing, and I'm gonna throw it over the top of it and kind of tilt it. And
yeah, cool.
Bell makes like a noise of disappointment.
Yeah. I mean,
the feeling lessen now that it's sort of out of sight.
Yeah, when it's out of sight, it's definitely like it's when you find yourself making eye contact with the faces of like, and I think as a whisper, you know that they're like faces of devils.
Oh, of course.
Bell, yeah. So, like faces of devils carved by someone who's seen faces of devils.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's happy for you to take it. He just really wants his part of the bargain.
Right. Here's where we do the thing.
So Ash.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to flash back.
Uh-huh. Would you?
To earlier this morning.
Uh-huh.
In as much as morning.
Morning and evening, morning and dusk exist because that's the time when there's like some glint of the remnants of the sun visible.
Yeah, so like, you know, morning, and I think we see like a really, really like wide shot of like the bank of the like the Lost District, with all the lightning barriers up on it, and then just like a boat like drifting across the water to like the bottom of the lightning barrier. And yeah, like this morning I went out to the edge of the lightning barrier and I found a little spot I know about where you can just like just squeeze through. I have some difficulty because I'm quite a big person. And I called his wife's ghost to me and I swallowed her. That's a thing I did.
Okay. So this is a 2 stress flashback, and you're gonna need an an action roll.
I was waiting for that. That's very reasonable. All right, so I'll mark 2 stress.
Can you help in someone else's like flashback?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So
I feel like this is very clearly a tune.
Yes, it definitely is a tune.
Like, yeah, I'm attuning. And so, yeah, I think what this looks like, because like this is the first time we've like seen any of this happen on screen. Is I think. So just to describe Belle in a little more detail, right? They're like this very, very large, right? Like 6'8", like, you know, huge broad shoulders, like carrying a lot of like, you know, quite heavy set and quite husky. And then yeah, there's like a big, unevenly knitted woolen jumper, and this woolen cap pulled down around their ears. And their face, there's something really like young and childish about it. I don't think they're any older than like 20. But like at the same time, their face is like super like weather beaten and like fucked up. And I think they've got like a tiny little like crappy beginnings of a beard.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, so they lie down on their belly and like crawl through this like hole that people normally just walk through because they're like too wide to fit. And they find themselves like out in this just like blasted, awful like wasteland. And they just start humming a song that we weren't aware was like way down low in the background of the soundscape until they started humming it. And yeah, that's what it looks like when they attune to call this ghost over.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So what's my position? Is it desperate?
Yes, this is desperate.
I thought so.
Limited.
Cool.
How does helping work?
That was what I was going to say.
Possible?
Yeah.
So if to help, you need to do 2 things. 1, you have to spend a stress. 2, you have to explain how you're helping. It might be that you're like watching and keeping guard. It might be that you are helping sing the song. It might be, yeah.
That you gave me a helpful like object of gear before I went out there to do my spooky thing, or like whatever.
You just have to explain what it was that you did.
So Ash, I'm pushing myself for extra effect.
Yep.
To just go straight up to standard.
Yep.
Bonus dice.
Yeah. Is anyone helping?
I want to help. I'm just not sure how.
I mean, like Spider might have made sure that like whoever was supposed to be guarding that part of the fence is not there. Right? Like has like paid off a local blue coat or something.
Or even like you are the reason I like knew where to find a gap in the lightning barrier.
You might have said this is how you can get out there.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that.
I think these openings in the field don't stay there, right? In the fence. They like it's like a thing where like sometimes the weather will kick up dust and like create like a pothole underneath or something like that.
Yeah, I'm almost picturing that like
my information broker Salia might know, kind of keep an eye out for where those sorts of spaces are, and that's one of the things that I get.
That's
from
cool.
her in our regular kind of exchanges of information. So I might have that knowledge and be able to pass that on so that you can.
That sounds cool.
Know where to go.
Create that opportunity. That's really cool.
Yeah. So like I'm picturing that like the lightning barriers. It's not just like towers and then like lightning fence. It's like towers and like chain mesh between them that then gets electrified, and over time the like metal like melts and like goes weird,
Yeah.
And so like periodically it has to be like replaced.
The thing is, yeah, like
little
and
gaps,
the thing is, like, the lightning will arc across those breaks most of the time, so they don't have to worry about repairing it too fast. But if it like gets too broken, then there's like the lightning will not arc across it, and then there's a
yeah, that's a problem.
yeah. Cool. So yeah, it sounds like you're spending a stress nightfall to help out.
Sure. How do I do that?
So on your character sheet, there's a little track on the left called stress, and all you have to do is just tick the first of those boxes. It should turn red.
Done.
Yeah,
Easy.
good job.
And then Ash, do you have a devil's bargain for me? Because I'm pushing myself for effect, so I can take a devil's bargain.
Yeah,
for
I
an
know.
extra night.
That's what you were looking up, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, because you can't get a bonus dice and devil's bargain, but you can. Yep. All right. Devil's bargain.
Does the ghost wife fall in love with my character?
Oh, I know what it
Well,
is. I know what it is. Hey, Luke. She's mad.
Right.
That sounds like maybe not my problem. No.
That's fine. You can take it. That's so. I want to address something. In that there's a thing in this game that is ghosts. When you're a ghost in and this is just to like establish a norm and talk about language that we use. The ghosts, according to the rules of Blades in the Dark, over time go crazy. They go
Unless they're really special.
Unless they're really special or whatever. But the point is that they like using the language that is used is madness, craziness. They lose their sensibility, right? And that's a thing that is in the book, and it's a thing that's really common in occult fiction. This idea of losing your mind,
Going feral.
and going feral, right? That's the language that the book uses. I'm going to use that. I'm aware that it's ableist language, and I would like to, and if it weren't a mechanical thing, I would avoid it. But because it's a thing of like this is that in this world, madness is madness, right? It's a part of the fictional world. It doesn't operate in the same way that mental health works in our world. So that's a thing I wanted to check in with everyone, because like I know that some of the people in the crew and in our audience deal with mental health issues. I deal with mental health issues that are specifically affected by that stigma around the idea of being crazy. But I wanted to make sure that we're all okay with recognizing that that's a part of the fiction. Because that's the thing that I think is important. Cool. Can I just get thumbs up from everyone if they're all okay? Great, awesome. It's just a thing I wanted to address and like because it's a thing that I find troubling about this particular text. And I just wanted to like move on. But yeah,
I'll take that devil's bargain.
cool, great, yeah. So yeah, let's see how you do with that then with your.
Well, I was wondering if I could assist as well.
So the mechanically you can like multiple people can assist, but you only get one dice out of it, so it's not worth spending the stress. If everyone's working together on something, there's a separate mechanic that we use that is called a group action.
Okay.
Yeah, once more than 3 people are mechanically engaged in an endeavor, it is a group action rather than a person acting in a help.
What do you do when there's 3 involved?
It's a group action.
Okay, once there's 3 or more. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, more than 2. Yeah, that is a success.
It is.
You get Margaret. She comes to you. I think you're at the edge of the old district, the part of Duskfall that was abandoned to the Deadlands when the lightning gates were. When the lightning barriers were erected. There are all of these it's dawn, so there's this like slightly amber haze everywhere, and then we just see the the silhouettes of all of the like crumbling buildings against the like the orange mist. And then as you're singing, this this figure wanders out towards you. I don't think she's even using her feet anymore. She just kind of glides across, and occasionally like just like lifting a leg as if like, or like, you know, doing this to like, like perching on when you can't get comfortable on a chair. And she's covered in like, her hair is just a big like mess, and there's like roses and like banana peels and things that are all like just embedded all over her, as if she just adorned herself with whatever living things she could get access to, just kind of like putting them on her as decoration. And she weaves her way out from between the buildings, and as she gets closer and closer to you, she speeds up and gets by the time she's like a foot away, she's already attempted to possess you, right? And like she can't possess you, but at the same time you feel her desire for like to go and find colorful things, anything that's colorful, and just put it, you know.
Yeah, I think what that looks like is she just goes through them.
Mm-hmm.
Like she goes in like no problem, and it like for a moment like we're like, oh god, what's gonna happen? And then she just comes out the other side. Like there is no, like the flesh doesn't hold her unless it wants to.
Mm-hmm. Except you've got like all of the like banana peels and dead roses like stuck to you.
Yeah.
And she turns around with her, and like ghosts are like made out of electroplasm, right? They're like bluey, cyany, white, sort of like sparkling things. And like she opens her mouth in like rage, like to like scream at you, and you know, like her eyes are dark sunken pits, and her mouth is like is pitch black against the like blue ivory of the rest of her.
Yeah, and I think I just like wipe off all the gunk in like one like clean motion. I'm like, Ogre wants to see you.
Yeah, and she's
in there where there is color and beauty and life, not in this dead, sad place.
And she says, in there, yes, in there. And like she doesn't care about him, right? She's not even.
Yeah, totally.
She's forgotten about him. You can.
Oh,
tell.
I don't. And I think he just like they just like open their arms, like this great big like wide armed like invitational gesture, and then as she like comes in, just like hugs her, and like the hug like tightens and just like presses her into their body, and she just like fades into it.
Yep. And you can you can like you can tell that she's not as expected somehow. I think that if you wanted to engage in that further, you'd have to like take an action. But yeah, she's not. There's something up about her that you, like, other than the fact that she's a crazy ghost.
Mm. Yeah, and so I think we cut back in on like cut back in on the present moment, and we can just see I think like some of the veins on their throat are just like ever so faintly like traced with this like blue cyan like ghost light.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like turn to look at Nightfall as though to be like so what are we like? Are we gonna give him what we promised? Like, what's the play here, boss?
Oh, I might as well. He might not like it, but we might as well.
I'm gonna pull out my whip just to have it in my hand.
Do we warn him? I don't know if we should warn him. What do you reckon?
Ooh. I think you should set up you guys go, you know, in a room to let him have his talk, and we'll start packaging up the thing for transport. Or at least Adi can do that.
Yeah, okay, so I think I do the like we're fellow Scovelander thing. I'm like, come, my friend. This private reunion between the man and his wife should be private. Is there a room we can go?
He's like, he's like, yeah. We can go into one of the into another storeroom, and yeah, like they go,
Very good.
and he takes you into another room where there's like, there's totally like a bunch of like panes of glass, that they've stored, that they've taken, and like yeah, they that are just like all stacked up, and he's like, yes, he's like, in here, no one will hear us.
Does that just casually? Does anything else in here look like occult and spooky and like maybe worth taking?
I mean,
In for a
most of
penny,
the
in for a pound, like.
yeah. There's a bunch of guns, like a bunch of like very ornate guns. That might be from like that might be
Ye
yeah,
oldie days.
ye olde days, and probably like officer weapons as well.
It's fine. Ogre's going to be possessed by his mad wife soon, so we can have him.
It's fine. Yeah, and so yeah, I think I like.
I mean, yeah, you're not
Yeah,
in
like-
you're not in the main, like you're in a shed out back behind
Yeah,
like
totally.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we're like in the shed together, and I like reach out, and again, right, like I'm like huge. I like reach down, I like put one hand, like big hand on his shoulder, and I'm like, first, I have message from your wife.
He's like, oh, she can tell me.
This is old message. Some weeks ago, only now has it gotten to me to get to you. I feel I am burdened to tell you this. She said she miss you out there. She wants you to bring her flowers and living things. But now you are together again. Does not matter.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and he's like, yes, of course. He's like, and he looks around, and he's like, and he gets, and he grabs like, he grabs, I think he's like the kind of badass that could just be like grab a rat and be like, yes, living things, right? Like,
Yeah, and I think they start humming again, and it's the same song. Only actually, like as we listen to it, we realize it's not quite the same song,
Mhm.
right? Because it's the song of the ghost field of this place, not
yeah,
of there. It's like less harsh. There's not as much like kind of dissonance going on in it. It's like an older, statelier song, and they start like tracing their hands through the air in these like very like kind of like ritual like movements, and their like palms and their fingers start like glowing and like leaving like traces of light shape in the air that are like filling in as the ghost like comes out of their hands like into like shape. And so yeah, they like sketch the shape of his wife in the air with this like these glowing hands, and then like lay like their palms on it, and like the ghost comes out.
yep,
And yeah, there's the ghost.
uh-huh. I want to cut to what's happening in the other room for a
Yeah,
minute.
totally.
So yeah, so y'all are in this. So this room is it's like a tin shed, but it has like a Persian style, or what we would interpret it. It's an Eruvian rug. Across like the dirt floor. And so it's this incredibly beautiful thing, but then it's got like little sprouts of like have like grown up under it, grown up through it, and then yeah, there is like a pianola here, and this like this you've now put the bag on the like shisha thing. There's a bunch of fake plants, and then and like quite well made ones, right? Like the silk is very fine, not like the cotton bullshit back at the Dimmer sisters, and then like a couple of big jars that just seem to be filled with beads.
Are any
Yeah.
of the fake plants like little? Like,
Yeah, you could just pocket some.
yeah, I would like to take a couple.
Yeah.
For no reason other than the fact that I feel like our abandoned lair requires a little bit of, Joy.
A touch of life.
A touch of life.
Yeah, touch your fake life. Excellent.
Fake
A
life.
semblance of life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. It's all fake life here.
So do you take like orchids or lilies or roses?
I think. Oh, it's hard. I think roses.
Yeah, cool.
Can we put that in our gang name somewhere?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Derek, Corin has like tipped over the thing in the bag. Is that what you're
Yeah.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gone over, and then I've just sort of
Yeah.
leave it upside down.
Yeah, cool. The bottom of the bag gets wet
Oh.
and then freezes
Oh,
You
interesting.
tripped out the ghost.
instantly.
Yeah. Ooh. How do you react?
Wrestled the ghost.
I'm going to tip it back up on the rug,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to touch the frozen bit at the top, but is anything coming out the bottom? Is there a
Yeah, now that this like fruit like liquid freeze is like spreading down one side of the bag. It's
Oh,
on
God.
the thing.
God, I don't think it's meant to do that.
I'm going to get my whip and I'm going to wrap it around the bag tightly, and then I'm going to electrify it.
Wait.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to kind of jolt it to submission, maybe.
I think that sounds like just a fortune roll, right? Like to see what happens. Yeah.
How do I roll this?
Is there a fortune button on the character sheet?
Or like command potentially. And yes, there is a.
There
fortune
is
button.
one on the crew sheet, I think.
I mean, my question is what happens, not do you succeed, right? Like,
It's under strange friends. Derek. There's a button that says roll fortune.
How many dice?
just one. I just want to know what this does.
No notes?
Just say electric ice.
Get 6.
A 6.
A 6.
The ice. So all of the liquid turns to ice and then like catches fire, like flash paper,
Oh, yes.
and
Oh.
and just disappears.
Like evaporates or...
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That could have been a lot
I'm
worse.
Jumping
Yeah, it could.
surprised that electrifying it worked, but
It's like, how did you know that would work?
I did this when I was a boy. I'm going to...
You're a mysterious. Are you man or are you him?
Male, yes.
You're a mysterious guy.
I look
I'm
forward to
serious,
finding
guy.
out more about what you did as a child.
Yeah.
Let's get this out of here, and maybe I will tell you the story.
On the
I'm looking to bind this a little bit more securely than what it is. So maybe
Mhm.
tying the ends of the, securing the ends of the whip together, and then slinging that over my shoulder.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
But I'm never gonna.
The thing is that I'm going to require maybe finesse or something to like carry it safely if it's like slung
Do you
like
remember?
that.
You can call for action rolls.
I can't. Sorry. Yes.
You can't tell him what action.
Sorry,
to do.
I can't do that. Sorry. What I'm going to say is there is a risk of like it tipping and those sorts of things while you're doing that.
Okay.
Right, if it's tied. I don't think it's difficult to tie it, but that particular arrangement, I think, is like you will have to be careful in some way.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right.
for that, Luke.
So a finesse roll.
I mean,
so it's up to
Well, you say what you want to do.
So yeah, you say which action you feel like you're using. The point is, I'm saying that I don't think there's an action right now, but when you're taking it across town,
Yes.
Yep.
that's my concern.
All
All
right.
right. Cool.
The only other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to situate it in a more upright position than what I currently had it in.
Mm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm taking that as a given.
Yeah. So I think Adi is gonna like help you like write it up. Where, and as you're doing that, she's gonna like sort of look a bit closer at this object, and like she's got sort of a passing understanding of chemistry and sort of like what could burn that quickly and like react to electricity in some way. So she's trying to figure out like what is this material and why did it catch fire so quickly. And what might this thing do?
Yeah, that sounds like. So the thing is still in like the sack, but like, you can see there's like some kind of soot residue left over, those sorts of things. So yeah, it sounds like you're studying. Oh, sorry, this isn't PBTA. What action are you using?
What action? I'm using a study roll.
Okay, cool. All right, I've got to get out
my
of the
intention.
habit of doing that. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do that? Is the actual
Yeah.
what's your
I
intention?
do that
How do you do it?
by studying.
Cool. All right. I think that given that the thing is in a bag, it's limited. But I think that you've since we've dealt with the immediate problem at hand, it's controlled.
Okay, so controlled and limited.
If you would like, can always trade position for effect. And go from controlled limited to risky standard. I'm not saying you should.
Oh, okay. But I can also
you
push
can.
myself. I can push myself for the standard effect, right?
You can do both.
Yeah, you can do both. So you could end up with
You can
great
go to
effect.
risky great. Like you got options.
Yeah, I think I'll do controlled standard,
Okay.
and I'll pay my 2 stress for that.
Yep, sure. Sounds good.
What's bonus dice? So
the
Zero,
bonus dice
yeah.
is well because you're not pushing yourself for dice, so yeah, no bonus dice.
yeah,
Unless someone else is
anyone wants to help.
I have a devil's bargain, which
Cool.
is that like this thing has some kind of a hypnotic effect. We know.
That would be cool.
And like the bag that it's in has just been frozen, then electrified, and then caught on fire.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's unreasonable if perhaps there is now a small gap in the bag, right about where there's like a spooky little hypno face.
Eye.
So like
the eyes trying to look out of it intentionally.
yeah, so like whatever happens, like you become a little bit entranced, and we maybe start a clock.
Yeah, that sounds like
But like
for possession. Oh,
yeah,
well, whatever.
not possession,
whatever.
but like
Something.
fixation or like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to take that, but the other thing that I would be interested in is if Derek's character wanted to help, in the sense of I would love to know Corin's story about like what they did as a child and how that helps in identifying what this might be. If
I mean,
Derek
we
says
can
that.
do all. We can do
Either or. I'm happy with both.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that, Derek?
I'd love to. I'd love to do that.
That'd be cool. So I think I would say something like what do you think this is? As I'm
My
writing
father, when I was a boy, he took me out into the desert. We rode for 2 days, and we saw not another living human being in all of that time. There was no moon that night. It was dark. We arrived at a cemetery, an abandoned place. It sets my teeth on edge to think of it now. And the spirits were bound to the stones. And my father My father destroyed the stones and electrified them, and they burnt. The stone burnt. I know things are bound to objects, and I could smell it from this one as soon as I walked in this room. It is cursed, this thing. We should move it along quickly.
Ooh, that's cool. Love it. So I'll take 1 die for your stress. And then I will roll.
So
Would you also like to take the devil's bargain?
mark a stress on your sheet, Derek? So
So
on the left, there's a stress track. You just need to click the first one. It should highlight red. Good job.
I think I'm not going to take the devil. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no, because things might go bad. I think so, things will go bad either way. Oh, I did well.
You did
Nice.
really well. Yeah.
Woohoo. So that's a 6. Oh, I realized, I don't know, Luke, if you took experience for rolling a desperate roll before.
I did.
But
Yeah.
you should.
So anytime
Anyway.
you roll a desperate roll in this game, you take experience not for your whole character, but for that particular attribute. So when Luke rolled desperate for a tune, they took what's that? A tune insight.
1 XP for resolve.
They took 1 XP for resolve. And so when you fill up that attributes bar, you then get to get an extra dot in one of those actions. But yeah, what does this look like as you're studying it, as you're successful?
I'm so I take a bit of the soot in my hand
Mm-hmm.
and sniff it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, when Corbin finishes his story, I think Eddie just does this
Yeah.
really quickly.
Mm-hmm. I think it tastes like the soot from when you I mean, you've tasted the soot before from when someone's electro killed a ghost, right? That's what the spirit wardens do all the time. They use electricity to just burn a ghost up. And it's very similar to that, except slightly different. You're a weird alchemy type.
Yeah, I've tasted many things.
This has less of a taste of whole ghost, right? It's a simpler, less complex electroplasmic liquid. Almost like someone had some the ectoplasmic electroplasm has been processed in some way.
Refined. What's my best guess about what this thing does? Do I have one?
Yeah, best guess. It's probably it probably is a way of getting that liquid into your body, right? It probably is a way of it's probably some kind of weird spooky drug thing or something like that. People want to get whatever that liquid is inside of them.
Awesome. I've tasted some now. Okay, great.
Yep. You definitely tasting it. You definitely get if the sun existed, it would be the feeling of when you're inside and then clouds go in front of the sun, so it just the whole room just kind of darkens a little, and then it's that kind of feeling for just the briefest moment when you taste this stuff, and then you're
Awesome.
yeah, the candles in here somehow just dim for a second.
Yeah. I think it's Phil would love this shit.
Mhm.
Isn't it a shame that you didn't take that devil's bargain and get that clock?
I know.
I mean, you can just choose to do it yourself, right? That's the thing.
I'm tempted. I think it'd be fun. but
Um.
I'm not sure how clocks work in this sheet.
Oh yeah.
But we can leave it for later.
we can leave it for
I'm
later.
sure I'll find something else to put a clock to.
Yeah. Nightfall. Are you in this room, or are you in, or like, where are you at?
I'm in this room as well.
Okay. Cool. In which case, yeah, I think Nightfall, you're the first person to notice, to like pick up on from the other room this horrific, angry woman's voice babbling, as like she's not even saying words, right? She's just doing that thing of like just half saying words, but like not actually getting any of them out. She lunges for Ogre in the other room, and like, yeah, you can, and she has the tradition. She has the thing that you've seen so many times before. I've forgotten your name, Luke. Belle. She does the thing that you've seen so many times before, Belle, where she lunges for the face with like graspy hands, ready to dig thumbs just into the face and like and go for it.
So I'm not on board with that. So I think I'd like to do. So like this happens, and I just like reach in my big giant coat, which chat is not also knit. It's my one not knit piece of clothing. And it's got like lots of like little internal pockets and all kinds of shit where like most of the time I keep my like weird spooky whisper materials. And I reach into one of the really big pockets in there, and I pull out this thing, and it's like the size of a loaf of bread. And it's made of like quartz, but like smoky quartz. And it looks kind of like a lantern and kind of like a bottle, and then it's chased around with like gold and copper wire. So I produce a spirit bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to, and I like kind of clear my throat and hum this like really, really discordant, like unpleasant note that like hits a pitch right across her screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And like snap my fingers, and I am I'm forcing a nearby ghost to obey and appear and obey a command I get. I'm compelling her.
So,
and the command is get in the bottle.
Uh-huh. Do you need to roll for that?
I do. I have to. Yeah, I can attune to do that.
You can attune to do it rather than commanding. Okay. Because like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, and spirit bottles are, if I just look the thing up.
And yeah, Nightfall, you are like able to like see, like if you open the door, you see this happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and so
I'm not opening the door. There's a mad ghost in there. Like,
I'm just letting you know that you're aware of the situation where the other two are busy talking about a fucking hooker. So
and so a spirit bottle is an arcane device used to trap a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
In the spirit bottle, where she can't do a violence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
Belle's got it covered. Like, I don't need to be involved.
Right. So we hear.
I mean, you say that like.
No. There's screeching happening, but I am confident. It's fine.
All right.
Oh
so this
no!
is definitely a tune.
Yep. Corin and I like hear the screaming ghost and like just pack that thing faster.
What is my position?
Your position is, oh fuck, it's at least risky. I mean, she's not going for you, so risky.
Yeah, and I also, as part of compel, I am not supernaturally terrified by ghosts I summon or compel.
Okay.
Like the usual ghost fear, just like rolls over.
Yeah.
All right, so it's risky, and what's my position? What's my effect?
I mean, standard.
Is that going to be enough to get her in the bottle?
Like, yes, right? Like,
okay,
I think, like,
I just want to check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, I'm gonna push her desperate though.
I mean,
I'm
you can
not.
do that, right? Like,
I'm gonna be good.
okay.
I don't need to. I'm gonna control my worst impulses as a Blades player. I'm gonna be good. All right, and I would like to. Do you have a Devil's Bargain? Or does anyone have a Devil's Bargain?
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
She's happy to go in the bottle once she's like after she's pulled his
Yeah, so
face off.
she gets him first.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
I'll push myself instead.
Okay.
So my 6 stress and my 3 dice. So let's see what happens.
So just to clarify there, the devil's bargain thing happens as a way of, if you accept that, you don't take the 2 stress.
Yeah. The Devil's Bargain is a way of getting an extra die. Yeah.
Without
Otherwise,
pushing
and it's a bad thing that happens regardless of whether you succeed or not.
Yeah, cool. Okay. And so those are not 2 things that you could do both of. Like you can't get an extra die with stress and a devil's bargain. at the
No,
same
you
time.
can't do
No,
both.
but you can push yourself with stress and get an extra die with the Devil's Bargain. Because push yourself is either for increased effect.
Yeah,
Or
so
for an extra
you
die?
can't get 2 dice for
Mhm.
Devil's Bargain and
Yeah.
stress, but you can get 1 dice and increased effect.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got a 5. Which on risky is what? Minor consequence?
Yeah. No, it's regular consequence, not horrible. Risky. On a 4 to 5, you do it, but there's consequences. You suffer harm. Okay. You suffer harm, friend.
Cool.
Yeah. She's in a face pulling off mode.
Yep.
So she
I'll
does
take it.
she does a little bit of that to you. So that's I feel like that's level 2 harm. Facey
You
scratch.
lose an eye.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's level 2 harm flappy cheek. Right? Like,
Give me a moment. I'm just looking up a thing.
she just pulled your cheek off.
If I were wearing a spirit mask, Ash, a fine spirit mask at that,
Oh yeah, if you
Would
mark
that
off
offer
that,
would
if
that
you-
offer me any protection?
you can downgrade that to level 1 harm.
Yep, I'll do it.
Which is like a chill thing.
Yep. Yeah, like lingering chill.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Good use of gear. All right. Well,
Thank you.
I think with Ogre like stumbled back against the pile of glass panes and the frost on on Belle's mask, and the other 2 outside still examining this soot. I think that's where we leave it for today.
Can I leave us on a pithy one-liner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Belle just picks up the bottle, which is glowing and angry, and again pats it like it's a restive animal and is like, I know, and just tucks it away in the big pocket, and then goes over and helps Ogre up and is like, this is why you do not neglect your wife.
Oh no, we lost.
Oh
We
no.
lost V. Let's switch to a version that can see things. If we go to this one, we can see things. All right. Yeah. While we wait for
Pithy one-liner.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, and to talk about the spirit mask for a moment, because I was not visibly wearing a mask before. I think my spirit mask is not an object. I think they paint like runes on their face that like light up, and like the runes are a mask.
Here's my thing. I think we can assume that you were wearing the mask because I
Yep.
don't think a spirit mask can be not a mask. As far as like,
That's fair.
because it's a thing that is used by. Welcome back.
Hey.
Because it's a thing that's used by the spirit wardens, right? Like it's an existent fiction. I feel.
I mean, the wardens wear masks. I don't know if it's ever clarified by the rules that they're spirit masks.
Yeah, right. I think from my perspective, as far as the storytelling, I want it.
Yeah, no, totally.
I want that
Right.
to be a requirement for that piece of gear.
Yep, cool. In which case, I will think about that and describe what my cool mask looks like next.
Yeah, definitely. But in the meantime, let's wrap it up with some experience and shoutouts. So let's do experience first. Do we want to do? Let's do character experience. Let me just I'm gonna quickly just shuffle y'all because the thing goes into a weird order when someone drops. Luke goes there. So Luke, do you want to do your experience questions?
Yeah. So, at the end of every session, I mark XP for stuff. I addressed a challenge with knowledge or arcane power.
Yes, I think you did that twice.
I
more than once.
I found a ghost wife and I trapped a ghost wife.
Yep.
Not for me, to be clear.
Yes.
That's not the situation at all.
Mm-hmm.
I expressed my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. This is the first session we've never met this character before. I think I get 2 for that. Like
Yes,
everything
Yep, everyone gets
everything that happened was new about this character.
Uh-huh.
So good job, me. And then did I struggle with issues from my vice or traumas?
No.
No, like very much no. Because that hasn't really happened yet. So that's 4 XP.
Cool. Excellent. Great. Alana, you should have some XP questions on the bottom of your sheet.
There. Okay. Addressed a challenge with calculation or conspiracy.
Do you feel like you did that at all?
I think, I don't know, the only thing that I can think of is that maybe having helped with figuring out where the hole in the fence is.
That sounds like conspiracy.
Yeah.
So one XP for that. You can put that.
Cool.
So you can put that either in your playbook track or in any of the individual attribute tracks. As your choice.
So I can put it in the overall or in. Okay. All right. So that's
And
one.
Overall is for new special abilities, and then the individual ones are for more dots.
Okay. Okay. And then there's it on the bottom. All right.
Yeah.
And then my other 2 were. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
I think you get 2 for that because we learned everything about you. So, yep.
Cool. And struggle with issues from vice or traumas. So
Don't think we saw much of that this time.
So is that 3?
Yep, 3 all up.
Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Thanks.
Cool. V.
I think I also got 3. 1 for addressing a challenge with technical skill,
Yep, definitely did
and
that.
2 for addressing my beliefs, heritage, background, etc.
Because we found out who you are. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job. Excellent.
Dump them all in my character stats.
Cool. Derek.
All right, so you addressed a challenge with violence or coercion. Well, I think I kind of electrocuted them.
I think you violenced a shisha. So yep. Mm-hmm. So 1 for that.
1 for that.
Lucky that ended there.
Yeah. Expressed my beliefs, drives, a heritage, of background. Well, I think I did that. Thank you, Artie.
Yeah, you did a good job. Yeah. Cool. So two for that.
And struggled with issues. So.
Yeah, I don't think we saw anyone struggling with their issues.
We haven't got traumatized enough yet.
Exactly. Need to get some trauma and some vice. So we'll see all of that start happening next time around.
I'm working on it. I'm at 6 stress already. You know, like.
Oh my god. Yep. Great. And then we do our group ones. Alana, do you want to do the group questions?
I can. All right. Execute a successful smuggling or acquire new clients or contraband sources. So we
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay. So we have, but it does say successful smuggling or acquire new clients or contraband.
That's a good
sources.
point. You did acquire
We
new
did acquire
acquire a new client.
new
That's true.
source.
Yeah, I would say that
that's
you've
true.
you've
That's
acquired the
fair.
Dimmer Sisters, so that's 1 for that. Excellent.
Cool. Contend with challenges above your current station.
You'll
Scavengers are tier 2.
Yep, you are
Did it.
tier 0. Everything is above
Yep.
your current station.
Cool.
Yep.
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
Do we think we were savvy?
I wonder if we
I think
weren't-
that's waiting. I wonder if that's
I wonder-
after this.
I wonder if we weren't spooky. I wonder if we aren't developing a new reputation. So we are
Spooky.
savvy and spooky.
I don't think we've
that we were
developed.
in the way that we dealt with the Dimmer sisters and were convincing in saying that we would not sell this product elsewhere. I feel
Mhm.
like we were reasonably savvy in the way that we handled that.
Yeah, I think that's worth 1.
Yep.
And
And then express goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
this
We only
one's
just met the crew.
We only just met the crew, so we can't. So yeah, I don't think we know what that is yet to express. So that's cool. All good.
I mean, like we learned what the essential
That's true.
nature.
I'll give you
We didn't know that
one.
before.
I'll give you 1 for that one. Yeah, for like learning what they are. Yeah.
Well done, team.
Good job, Tim.
Yeah,
That's
you did it.
that's 4 out of 9 straight off the bat. Excellent job. Well,
Like, wind blades in the dark.
yeah, exactly. That's how this works. Let's do some shout outs then. Let's start with Luke.
Hello, I've been Luke. I'm sick.
Aw.
Oh,
But no, this
Shout
was
out
really.
to Luke for being sick.
Yeah,
Mm.
thank you.
Ah, see, they're proving it.
Timing, yep.
Yeah, this is the problem. I laugh and I just like want to cough. This was really good. This was my first time actually playing Blades. It was really neat. You guys have all made really interesting characters. I'm very hyped for more of this. This is good. You can find games what I have written at gamesfromthewildwood.itch.io if that's something you're interested in. If you'd like to support me in writing more games, you can find that at patreon.com/gamesfromthewildwood. My like big Power by the Apocalypse game about exploring and discovering cool weird things in a world haunted by history is going to be out in public playtest very soon, probably within the next week or maybe fortnight. So
oh wow.
you can follow me on Twitter to check that out. You can find me there at Wildwoods Games. My non-capitalist plug of the day is being healthy is good. So take
Not wrong.
take care of your body and give it the things you need and respect its limits and don't try to push yourself unnecessarily. Be gentle with your body as well as
Wow.
to it.
Yeah, solid. Cool. Alana.
Hello, I have been Alana and will continue to do so off camera. You can find me at Alana M. Cole on Twitter. You can also find Queerly Represent Me, my baby that I love and care for dearly, at Queerly Rep Me on Twitter, and also queerlyrepresent.me. And I'm also going to do a non-capitalist plug for plants. Did you know that plants exist? They are free, also lovely. Go outside.
Not all of them are fake.
It's true. Not
Yeah.
all of them are fake. Only the ones in the game.
Yeah.
Some of them are fake, but a lot of them are real, and real ones are lovely.
Yeah.
Go look at a plant.
Yeah. V.
Hi. All right. I don't know what to plug. Haley and I have Good Society, a Jane Austen RPG out at the moment. So if that sounds like a jam, go check it out. It is good fun and very silly. One good thing I found out this week that I will plug to you all is to talk to someone about a problem you have, because often you don't realize that it's only one conversation away to solve that problem. So do it.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Derek.
So I'm Derek, and will also continue to be so off camera, unless you're a solipsism, and in which case I won't be. And I am a controlling partner of the Dice Stormers, youtube.com/the Dice Stormers. And I'm also owner operator of Guru Games. We make iOS and Android games.
Awesome.
me.
Great. Well, I've been Ash, your GM and host. This is my channel, so if you haven't already hit the follow button, it's up there in the corner. You can find me at ACEGIAC, ACEGIAK, on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Tumblr, Pillow Fort, and Patreon. If you want to support my ongoing game design work, making some blade hacks of my own. We will be playing some PC games for most of the rest of the week this week. We're gonna get some Caves of Cud in because I have a problem. I can't keep myself away. And probably some other things as well. I think this week I'll be over at that D&D podcast, playing a game that I've written called Antiquarian Adventures, which is a Blades in the Dark hack about going treasure hunting in ancient lost cities and triggering traps and racing Nazis for the ancient whatever. So check that out. And then on Saturday we have our first episode of our new Scum and Villainy game, which is a Blades in the Dark hack about being scoundrels in space, which is going to be super awesome. That's got Cammy, it's got Cherry, it's got DC, and I always forget one person whenever I do this. I don't know.
And a mystery guest.
Yeah, no, I can.
V is good at this. Is it Rad?
No, it is Evie, because she doesn't normally stream. That's why I got confused.
Yeah.
Who you might recognize from
Pokemon.
no, from Backup Street Shit Kids. So
Shit kids represent.
yeah. Other than that, thank you all so much for joining me today. It's been absolutely lovely. I'm so excited for this campaign.
Yes.
I love these characters. I love the nonsense we've come up with already. It's gonna be a good time. So
When we finish our score, we'll name our crew.
yeah. I'm keen. But until next time, we will catch you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.